School graduate and member of NDC Communications team, Stephen Atubiga, has been speaking to Joy News about his 3-day romance with the law and how he thought at some point that he was going to be assassinated. Government says the state will no longer offer scholarships for study abroad except for courses which are not offered locally. In business, Parliament postpones consideration of amendment to talk time tax to factor in concerns raised by the minority and other interest groups. We have all these, we have sport, we have business, and we have showbiz. Please stay with us. Welcome to the details. Now, electricity production at the Boakye thermal plant has been reduced by 100 megawatt. This was after equipment belonging to the Ghana Grid Company exploded this morning, causing power fluctuations in some part of Sekondi Takoradi. All right, let's quickly go on the phone lines to speak with Mr. Michael Quay of the NPP to find out some few answers from him. Good evening to you, sir.
Hello, good evening.
Many thanks for your time. Now, we understand that Mr. Ken Kranchi, who was sentenced to 10 days in prison, has been moving around prisons. Can you confirm that to us?
Yes, this afternoon, I had the occasion to go to Mrs. Kranchi's house upon the certain developments to which my attention was drawn to, and I was called there. The woman is in great distress because the first time her husband was taken away, she was made to know he was being taken to some prison. She went there personally to visit her husband, as of course is entitled to do in any civilized country, only to be told that the husband had been moved to home. This afternoon, she sent someone to take a few things to the husband, only to be told that the husband had been moved somewhere that she did not know and could not be told, and that the emissary could not see him.
Are you saying then that his location as at now cannot be confirmed?
I'm coming.
Right.
This evening, it is being said, and she had no way of verifying, that the husband is now in Kitekrachi. If tomorrow she leaves Accra to go to Kitekrachi, there's no guarantee even that she will not be told, she herself now believes and says, that she will not be told that her husband is taken to war. She's naturally very distressed.
Right. That's what I'm trying to find out from you, whether you've been, because we understand earlier that members of the NPP were going to pay him a visit as well. So what I'm trying to find out from you is whether you have established any contact with Mr. Kranchi.
No, I have not personally, and I have not been there. I am speaking about what is the plight of the family now.
Right.
And the someone that was brought to my attention, for which matter I personally, for humanitarian reasons, went to her house and saw her, and I'm speaking on authority, and her 3 children over there in the house at that time, in real distress. The woman is hypertensive, and her hypertension is at its apex. And there's a wondering, really. In fact, the woman was saying, we don't know whether the man is now dead or alive. And that is very distressful.
Now, let me draw your attention quickly to this. Earlier in the morning, we were speaking to Mr. Atubiga, who went in prison with him. And one of the things that he said was that they treat political prisoners differently because they want them to be safe. And that's what they told them, that they were taking them to a different place so that they will be safe.
Oh, my young lady, this kind of safety can be very, very worrying. What takes you to a safe place is very serious issues have arisen where political prisoners have been kept in Salem for months and years. And you see, it appears he's now becoming an advocate for whoever is acting. Apparently, he says he was treated with kid gloves and he was treated very well, and he says prison is soft. Fine, nobody envies that. And everybody will want him to be okay. But you see, harassment can be a very serious matter. No one should also be discriminated against under our constitution, and nobody must be subject to inhuman treatment. You are there at the cell, and at 2 a.m. or so, they come and knock, and they say, we are moving. Where are we going? Instructions have come, we must be taken somewhere else. Everything is very frightful and very worrying and disturbing of a person's sleep.
Right.
I am saying that we must seriously look into this matter. Human rights societies, the Peace Council, and so on. I will give you her number on air if you call the lady and speak to her.
We'll take her number off. We'll take her number off and try to reach her. But quickly before I let you go, do you know of any channels available to you in terms of addressing this issue as sympathizers of Mr. Ken Kranchi, and are you going to take any action?
Well, I don't. No, it's not even just sympathizers of Ken Kranchi. Any human being, any Ghanaian who will be in such a situation, and my attention is drawn to it, and people put a plea to me, and I see that this is really true and happening, I'm telling you honestly, I would really want to take it up. And I believe the media, the Peace Solidarity Council, and all appropriate agencies. Now the courts can't even sit on weekends. So you cannot go for a case in the court, High Court tomorrow, or even the Supreme Court to say, look, this person is being discriminated against. He's being harassed by this kind of movement. And this is against the 1992 Constitution. Okay. You cannot do it until Monday.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your time. Now we're trying to get to the Interior Ministry and get their reaction to this. As and when we have it, we'll let you know. But let's move on with let's move on further with our other stories. Now, Stephen Atubiga, the NDC communications team member who was jailed for his contemptuous remarks about the election petition, has been speaking to Joy News about his prison experience. He describes it as one of the most scariest times in his life. In his first post-jail interview, he told the AM show there was a time during his incarceration he thought he was going to be assassinated. Stephen Atubiga, together with the editor of the Daily Searchlight newspaper, was sentenced for making contemptuous remarks about the ongoing election petition hearing at the Supreme Court.
Stephen Atubiga has shown thorough remorse, having admitted his error readily and started his retractions before his appearance before this court. Nonetheless, his utterances were very serious. They were intentionally made contemptuously. Accordingly, we find him guilty of criminal contempt and sentence him to 3 days imprisonment.
And with that, Stephen Atubiga began the journey to incarceration. Fortunately for him, though, he says he had a warm welcome, unlike many others.
The place is not that bad as what you hear out there. The inmates are very nice, and as a matter of fact, it is the only place that I have seen that if you fallen, somebody picks you up.
He also says he thought prison wasn't as bad as has been described.
As a matter of fact, it was a nice place.
When you say nice, exactly what
it had a TV. I slept on a the student bed at a night and at a corner with other inmates. Okay. There's a bathroom in there, water closet, water flows. As a matter of fact, the first night it is the prisoners. They fix us very nice tea, Okay. The fried eggs, and honestly, it was just like home.
The moment of truth, however, came when he was woken up in the middle of the night and told to pack to be taken to an unknown destination.
It was so scary. Imagine being a prisoner at 2 a.m. All the big shots, they just come in the prison, all the prison officers, they just come knock at your door. Where's Atubiga? Get dressed, let's go. No question asked. You go, then they take you somewhere. There are doctors there are people that will counsel you, hey, we want to take you to a safer place, we think here will be safer for you. And as a politician, honestly, I was so scared. Where are these people taking me? Are they going to assassinate me? What is going on?
Mr. Atubiga says he's a completely reformed man and is thankful to the justices for the lesson. He says his mission now is to start a foundation to support inmates incarcerated without trial and provide facilities for prisons. He, however, adds that he will continually preach against the conduct that landed him in jail.
So that was the story of Mr. Atubiga. Now, staff of Metro Television have called off their strike over some allowances due them they say had been scrapped. The first such strike by a private television station affected live programming. They ended the action after the allowances were paid.
Let him land, please. I beg you. Let him.
Workers reported to work at their usual time, went inside to swipe and returned to the main gate to protest. Red flags were hoisted whilst others wore them as armbands to press home their demands. With all the live shows suspended, the station only transmitted packaged programs or rebroadcasts. The workers, among others, called for the removal of the head of human resource, but they were cautioned by their union chairman against any destruction of property. A representative of the mother union tried to calm tensions.
It's been worked on. We were supposed to have held a meeting 10 o'clock today, but the instance of what had happened, we had to come in this early in the morning to come and address the issue. It's been done. 31 people have been cleared. The 31 people who have been cleared are going to be paid within the next few hours. A check has been issued, so they are going to be paid today. Please, I'm coming. Let him finish. Allow. It's in contention with your local rep, that's Ahi. Those who have not been cleared, you come up, if your name is not there, you come up with the local, then you go up and go and look at the reason why. There's a little problem because some of you do come to work where you do not swipe. So it goes against your name. So we've agreed that if there's that problem, you go and your swiping this thing is brought out for you to look at. So that is it. The other one, which is about overtime, that one too will be discussed on Wednesday. A paper will be presented. Wait. Hold on. We want the Asia to leave now. No, Asia to leave now. Listen about the Asia. We want it now. No more Asia. We want him to leave now.
Let him land, please. I beg you. Let him.
He was unsuccessful though.
Well, they are saying that some of the allowances are ready, but for me, I think that we need all the allowances. They should be ready. If there are people employed to keep records, they have to keep records. So if that person has not kept the records, it's not duty. They should pay all the money.
You go to them. Me, I'll
We're making efforts as reaching the chairman of the TUC for Metro TV. When we get to him, we'll speak to him to answer some few questions. Now, government will no longer offer scholarships to schools abroad unless the courses are not offered locally. The directive announced at today's briefing at the Flagstaff House is said to have been issued by Cabinet.
Now, His Excellency the President has directed that henceforth Government of Ghana scholarships should be awarded to students who are pursuing courses that are not locally available and that are not being pursued in Ghanaian institutions. That way, His Excellency believes that we would not stretch ourselves thin and we would also achieve greater efficiency and impact because we would be training critical human resource in areas where we currently do not have institutions rolling out courses.
The President has also directed that the ministries release bursaries to students abroad on Government of Ghana scholarships.
They were tasked to take urgent steps to ensure that all payments due to Ghanaian students studying abroad on Government of Ghana scholarships are made, and this is to be made a priority. As emphasized that these directives were issued through the Ministries of Education and Finance to carry out a review and ensure that there is greater transparency objectivity and clarity in the selection of students who benefit from Government of Ghana scholarships.
Discussion of the plight of such students has also cyclically recurred in the media for some time now. Some of them say they have been ejected from their hostels and denied services on their various campuses. These major reforms to the scholarship scheme of the country is expected to breed efficiency in scholarship administration, which has over the years been saddled with alleged nepotism and favoritism. You're watching the Primetime News on your Joy News channel on Multi TV. We take a quick breather here. When we return, we have some more stories. You're welcome back. Now, 1,870 fires have been recorded across the country from January to April this year, according to the Ghana National Fire Service. Now, most of these fires have been blamed on electrical fault. In the wake of the recurring fires, Joy News sought to find out why several electrical cables have been left hanging in the capital.
About 598 fire outbreaks were recorded in 2012 and have increased to over 1,000 this year. 67% of them were domestic, with 80% blamed on electrical faults. Electrical cables hanging loosely on buildings are, however, becoming a common sight. Most electrical wires are exposed at various homes and workplaces, but those living close to them are, however, oblivious of the danger it poses.
4 years. Into Mumba Debia, woman a bit much and say, Ebia, then a one a danger. So I say, and I'm a say, if you answer so no, Winim Debia, I just had a tisty for no one.
The Electrical Contractors Association insists wiring must be done appropriately by qualified personnel to avoid shocks and fire outbreaks.
Cables are not supposed to hang on buildings. They are supposed to be routed in a defined route in order to get to a defined equipment or defined places. When you call for electrician to wire your building, your first place is to ask for his competency certificate and then see that he's a member of the Electrical Contractors Association.
Electricians in the country are required to pass a practical and written examination, after which a certificate and an identity card will be issued to them to offer wiring services.
We have a standard which everybody must go with, just like a Bible for the profession. If you want to do electrical wiring, you must obtain that particular wiring book and then wiring according to the regulations that have been embodied in the book. But remember, it is not anybody who has done electrical engineering who is supposed to do electrical wiring. If you have done electrical engineering, you need to go on apprenticeship for electrical wiring for building, and then of course you can upgrade yourself to go higher.
Electricians who contravene the regulation shall on the 24th February 2015 cease to undertake any wiring installation in Ghana.
Now, members of the 2013 graduating class of the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Center have been advised to use the knowledge they've acquired for the benefit of the less privileged and society as a whole. The 74 graduated with master's degree in conflict, peace and security and gender, peace and security.
The introduction of the postgraduate courses in peace and security at the KAIPTC, which originally started as a research and training institute, has made education available to a number of people in Ghana and the rest of the world. The programs aim to train and equip high-caliber personnel in peacekeeping and security. 29% of the graduates are females, with the majority of them graduating from the Masters in Gender, Peace and Security degree program. The Minister for Education, who read the keynote address on behalf of the Vice President, who had to leave for other pressing matters, urged the graduates to bring their expertise to bear in resolving conflicts in Africa.
Currently, 8 of 15 United Nations peacekeeping operations are on our continent, and this signifies the immense challenge we have to deal with. I therefore urge all the graduates to contribute to ensure that the current situation gets much better everywhere.
The Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection urged them to highlight potential conflicts before it is too late.
Peacekeeping does not only imply maintaining sanity in times of conflict, but also maintaining the status quo of peace. And that is why I would want to mention strengthening early warning systems. I know you have read and learnt all about early warning systems. And within our particular context as a country, may I mention that we need to look at our early warning systems and strengthen these early warning systems.
In a valedictory speech, the class president of MGPS urged government to factor them in decision making.
Recent events in Egypt and even events within our own borders here in Ghana are indicators that we indeed have a lot of work to do. I believe I speak for each graduate when I say we are ever ready to serve. So to the representatives of government gathered with us today, this is our promise to you. We will be ready when you call on us, and we will be welcoming of whatever opportunities exist to become makers of peace in our respective countries.
Emmanuel Yeboah Abebiu won the overall best student in MCPS, with Abati Mbet Gatshu winning the best overall student in MGPS. The class is said to have lost one of the best students in a motor accident a month to the graduation.
Congratulations to them. Now, the media has been admonished to continue to play its role towards ultimately eradicating HIV and AIDS in Ghana. The call was made at the media launch of the 3rd National HIV and AIDS Research Conference in Accra. Marian Ture was at the launch and has the rest of the story.
Ghana is among 5 countries in sub-Saharan Africa whose prevalence declined by more than 52% between 2001 and 2010 among young people. But the 2011 UNAIDS report says, in spite of the massive expansion and tremendous results achieved through the implementation of multi-sectorial national strategies, there still remain several challenges. Head of the Disease Surveillance Department at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Bedu Sakode, believes for the set targets to be achieved, there is the need for a collaborative effort among all stakeholders.
We need to provide a platform for networking among researchers, implementers and other stakeholders involved in national response. There's a need to discuss further program strategies in highlighting evidence of best practices. There's a need to promote knowledge sharing and learning, promote advocacy and greater understanding the skills of research. We all have a responsibility to break transmission of HIV. The media has a lead role. The Ministry of Health will continue to provide support and sustain our collaboration with the press and further support research.
The focus of set strategies are to reduce HIV infections by half by 2015, with a virtual elimination of mother-to-child transmission from 30 to 5%, as well as sustain and scale up the proportion of people living with HIV. Successful measures and tracking of these and other results is, however, dependent on sustained generation and use of strategic information, hence the need for the conference. The Ghana AIDS Commission, in collaboration with its partners since 2004, organized the National HIV and AIDS Research Conference. It has become a platform for stakeholders to share information and experiences, discuss results of key research work, and examine their implications for improving the quality of the national HIV and AIDS response. The 3rd conference is scheduled from September this year. Marian Ture for Joy News.
Now let's go back to our earlier story where electricity production at the Boakye thermal plant has been reduced by 100 megawatts. This was after equipment belonging to the Ghana Grid Company exploded this morning, causing power fluctuations in some parts of Sekondi Takoradi. The Boakye thermal plant at full capacity produces 500 megawatts of power to the national grid. The damaged equipment, a breaker pole, is a vehicle that carries power onto the national grid for transmission. Authorities explain that repairing the damaged pole, which carries 100 megawatts, could take a minimum of 3 days, even though importing could take longer. Area manager of Gridco, George Imprim, in a telephone interview said repair works will resume immediately. Now, the explosion injured one worker in the eye who was treated and has been discharged at the time of our visit to the VRA hospital at Boakye. The cause of the explosion is not immediately known. So on the line is the area manager of the Ghana Grid Company, George Imprim. Good evening to you, sir. Hello, good evening to you, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you for joining us. Now, without the getting into the technical details, can you briefly explain what happened?
Well, we are located in the Keteng Junction. That's where our offices are. But by the grid code, the substations are for the grid company. So we oversee the substations on at 161 kilovolts. So this morning when I got to the office, I was going around the station when I got a call that we have lost 2 of our lines. So my understanding was that there was a problem with one of the biggest at Boakye. So very quickly I went to the control room to ascertain, and I was told that there had been a fire outbreak at Boakye on one of the poles of the second breaker. So I quickly got there, and then I realized that yes, one of the poles got bent. So I contacted the maintenance manager for here because they were on site before I got there. And they told me that yes, they were generating from the steam turbines, and then they realized that there was a low oil level alarm. So they quickly went to the associate, and on a they were doing visual inspection to ascertain, then they had the explosion. So we met as a group, Gridco and VRA, we met and then strategized to ensure that we have gotten the breaker installed very quickly, and then we bring in the 100 megawatts from the steam turbine. After that, we spend time and then look at the exploded breaker and get to the bottom of it and find out what exactly caused it. For now, our main point is to ensure that we have gotten the second breaker installed, and then we evacuate.
Now, between now and when you get the other one installed, tell us whether this will affect power supply.
Yes, where the 100 megawatts that they were generating to for it to join on the system, until we get the breaker installed, we cannot reel it onto the system. That is why we don't want to waste any time and ensure that we have gotten it there.
Okay, so you're working quickly to repair this. Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Right. Thank you very much, sir. That was the area manager of Ghana Grid Company, George Imprim, telling us about whether or not this destruction will affect power supply. But up next is You Report. Our You Report today has to do with an accident that occurred on the Tema motorway sent in to us by Otto. Otto chanced upon this accident involving this vehicle that had been knocked into the ditch apparently by a tanker that sped off. He says the vehicle was originally overturned and had its tires up, but then thanks to the volunteers who approached the scene, they managed to put it back on its tires again. The incident had just happened and the occupant of the vehicle were yet to be sent to the hospital. So thank you very much, Otto Kobe, for that. It's exactly the kind of material we want. So keep them coming in, whether via WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, or email, and we'll make you a reporter. All right, so coming up next is the business news. In business today, Parliament has halted further consideration of the amended Communications Service Tax Bill. The bill seeks to impose a 6 cents per minute charge on international calls received in the country. Emmanuel Ante has more.
The amendment, when passed, will also affect all electronic communication. Whilst the minority insists the amendment will overburden the consumer with taxes, government says it is losing over 45 million Ghana cedis a month, making imposition of the levy critical. Deputy Chairman on the Finance Committee, Gabriel Kwadwo explains they want to engage more on the bill as a result of concerns expressed. Meanwhile, hot exchanges characterized proceedings on the floor of Parliament today as MPs debated the business statement for next week. Attempts by a Member of Parliament for Menchia South, Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe, to question why the House has failed to invite the Bank of Ghana to explain the role of savings and loans companies operating in the country was deemed an act of indiscipline because the subject matter was not part of the discussion by the Deputy Majority Leader Alfred Agbeshi. Billed to appear before the House for questioning next week are the Ministers for Water Resources, Works and Housing, Health, Education and Roads and Highways. Sitting is adjourned till Tuesday.
The Ghana Revenue Authority has closed down Wanshan Delhi Ghana Limited, a mattress producing company operated by Chinese nationals in the Achimota area. Investigations by the GRA reveal the company since 2012 grossly undervalued their imports and sold goods without charging tax. Assistant Commissioner of Debt Management and Compliance, Maxwell Chachu, said the high rate of non-compliance undermines the country's revenue mobilization efforts, adding that the GRA plans to take action against some 22 quarry companies to recover debt.
Let's go to your office and then...
You are off the camera.
You cannot tell us to put on the camera. Are you coming to talk to us?
Okay.
The company, which operates in an old warehouse behind the Dome Market close to Achimota, is said to have been importing some chemicals at a low value for the production of mattresses since November 2012. The Chinese nationals found in their yard were shying away from the camera, and one of them initially tried to escape. The owner of the company was said to be out of the country, and the other workers could not produce permits that allowed them to operate or stay in the country, except for this passport and some invoices which had not been issued out. Further search revealed the chemicals in the barrels were different from the ones described on the import document.
We looked at their custom declaration documents and also discovered that they grossly undervalue their imports. And then when they sell the goods, they don't also charge the tax and collect it. So with that, they could be able to sell below the normal market price. What is here attracts higher value than what they describe on their custom declaration. So we are also going to look into those things and revalue them to pay the short collection.
The team also noted this illegal connection of electricity, which was also hazardous. Poor ventilation and exposure of these chemicals also left the workers at great risk.
Chemical in the I share yano better so nanya na fe adwuma so ayene ayini kwa ehunum ha enframa bia fa ba bia ntini ebrewa ha.
The company has since been locked up until the various permits are provided.
Market data is next. Now, this is the part of our business news which is related to what happened today at Metro Television. The Trades Union Congress is asking employees of media houses to articulate and channel their grievances through the appropriate quarters for immediate resolution. It is also challenging the media to use their platform to expose all forms of indecency in their working conditions whilst they make conscious effort to unionize.
Wage indicator survey by the Trade Union Congress to explore workers' conditions of service says 3 in 10 workers earn less than 50 pesos per hour, whereas 1/4 earn more than 3 cedis 50 pesos. The analysis shows 28% of 1,413 persons sampled are paid below the minimum wage, with 72% paid on or above it. A short survey conducted by the TUC with the Ghana Employers Association on the media, however, revealed indecent working conditions.
What we did today was to give a short survey questionnaire to the members of the media to look at some of the decent work deficits, as I've mentioned, that they have. And it came out clearly that we have issues with maternity leave, we have issues with annual leave, we have issues with occupational safety and health, we have issues with fair treatment at work. And so we have talked a lot about them, and we have urged members in the media to be conversant with the law. We will see how the Employers Association and the National and the Trade Union Congress will seek redress of all these issues at the National Tripartite Committee level.
The report indicated that while employers do not heed to Act 651 of the Labour Law, which regulates employment relationships, employees are also ignorant of it. Salary disparities, leave restrictions, employers' inability to pay overtime allowances, among other indecent working conditions, abound in the media. But the TUC says the first step to solving this challenge in the industry is for employees to voice out their concerns appropriately.
When you're put, in the condition or in the situation where you have to make a choice between no work and bad work, you will choose bad work. But you still would have to assert, you still have to make a complaint. You still will have to come up and say, my condition is not good. Maybe we should also use the media platform, to bring up some of these things. We need also to encourage people to join unions. You do not treat that by saying you won't join a union. You treat that by joining a union and asserting your rights within that membership organization to ensure that it's properly being managed.
Employers are also to put in place institutional frameworks which are in conformity with local and international standards.
So I am all for individual action. I am all for workers at the industry level taking action. I'm all for that. But I'm even more for institutional frameworks that ensures that we are inspecting and we are ensuring that standards are being complied with. I'm all for institutional frameworks that opens up, that brings up transparency, that puts light, sheds light on the conditions of workers all over the country, including the media.
He also asked employers to ensure detailed employment contracts are available before employees commence work.
Some advice for media men, but that's it for business news.
Joy News Business was brought to you in association.
Sports is brought to you in
Time for the very latest in the world of sports, and we can talk some hockey now. The national under-21 female hockey team is rounding up preparations for this year's World Junior Hockey World Cup to be staged in Mönchengladbach, Germany from July 27 to August 4. The team has been training for weeks at the national hockey pitch and will compete in the world event alongside giants Argentina, Korea, Germany and the Netherlands, who have competed in every Junior World Cup since inception. Coach of the side, Edmond Odamite, says his side will make an impact despite being tagged underdogs.
We've done a lot of tactics, we've done a lot of the technical aspects, and now we are doing the final brush up with the full tactical discipline, like the penalty corners, the set pieces, the penalty corner 5 attacking, then 5 defending. Today, like as you see, we are working on the penalty corners. So that's what we are doing now. We are going to play against tough teams like Netherlands, Korea, and USA. If we happen to qualify to the next stage, then we are going to meet tougher opponents. But in fact, if you look at the groups, every team in each group is a very tough team. So we are not underestimating any team at all, because we've been watching their clips here. So the girls are psyched out to how they play. So we hope that, given the chance, they will also try to prove their wits and to play very well, and then come out with something very good.
We do some soccer, but a very sad story. And former Hearts of Oak stalwart Emmanuel Ajimandua is suffering from stroke and wants financial sympathizers to foot his hospital bills. Ajimandua, nicknamed Rambo, was a CAF Champions League winner with Accra Hearts of Oak in 2000 and also played for Asante Kotoko and Ashanti Gold. The 41-year-old, who is now paralyzed, has been describing his rather sad story to Joy Sports.
Since that evening, I start feeling this the sickness. It was like a film, and because me, I was laughing. I said, what is going on? So the doctor don't believe it, and the doctor said that, I went here. Your BP is 200, but still I can see you are strong. And I told her that, dog, it's by God's grace. Me myself, I don't understand. So she checked me up and down, and she admitted me. She said, because of the BP and the sickness, I should stay there for. So they admitted me, and the next day, Saturday morning, I cannot wake up at all. My hand, even that Saturday morning, I can see that, and my face wanted to be the half. So I was laughing, and me still now I don't understand. So I was laughing. So I was admitted 1 week. So after the 1 week, they try to do all type of tests.
To say final to all young coming footballers who would like to be like Rambo, the hard man, a message for them.
Thank you very much. My message for the young ones is, one, to take God as their personal savior, to respect, comport themselves, and dedicate themselves, serious training, and God will see them through. Thank you very much.
Sad story of the man who was known to be the Rambo. That'll be all for sports. My name is George Addy Jr. Have a good night.
Sports was brought to you in association.
Time now for some showbiz. Now, the third season of the Vodafone Icons Street Edition swung into full gear last night as the 10 finalists for the show put up their first performances since returning from boot camp.
Out of the thousands who auditioned for the Vodafone Icons Street Edition, 16 contestants were selected for boot camp, out of which 10 emerged for the final show. The 10 include Multi-TV's Sarah Opare and Buddha, a brother of the king of the streets, Kwalkese. Reigning icon winners Black and Peach opened the night with a performance of Tina Turner's Simply the Best. They were followed by all contestants with a rendition of Labi Sifer's classic hit, Something Inside So Strong. The nerves got the better part of most contestants. But Sarah managed to capture not only the hearts of the judges, but a member of the audience who threw her a white rose after her performance of Barry White's The Way You Are. Unlike previous editions of the Vodafone Icons, contestants in the street edition of the music talent show will be performing as solo artists with the hope of winning the ultimate title, a brand new Kia Sportage, and an international recording contract with Universal Records.
And we say congratulations to Sarah and a big thumbs up to her. Sarah is from Multi TV. That's it for Showbiz. Many thanks for your time. That's it for the bulletin. But our top stories: explosion at a Boakye thermal plant knocks off 100 megawatts from national grid with implications for electricity supply. Staff of Metro TV end strike over allowances. Even Australia's Union Congress urges the media to expose practitioners' poor conditions of service. Prison graduate and member of NDC Communications team Stephen Atubiga has been speaking to Joy News about his 3-day remand with the law and how he thought at some points that he was going to be assassinated. Government says the state will no longer offer scholarships for studies abroad except for courses which are not offered locally. In business, Parliament postpones consideration of amendment to talk time tax to factor in concerns raised by the minority and other interest groups. That's it. My name is Gifty Ando Apia. Many thanks for your time. Do have a good evening.